everyone
everyone
in
in Katribu.
Katribu. I am Dina Ventura.
I am Jojo Silvestre, and welcome
Welcome to
to Tribune
Tribune Now
Now's
Spotlight.
Spotlight. We have a very special and relevant and famous and powerful guest.
yes, I'm so
Very
excited.
influential would be the
Yes.
word. And of course, because it's the Chinese New Year, she is
2021.
of Chinese roots. No?
Okay.
Our guest is the president of Destileria Limtuaco and Company Incorporated, the oldest distillery in the Philippines and the country's top exporter of distilled spirits. She is the president of the country's industry association, the Distilled Spirit Association of the Philippines. She is the publisher of Asian Dragon magazine, the first bilingual business and lifestyle magazine in the Philippines. I had always wanted to write there, but I met her only lately.
Okay.
But it's online now, huh? It's being published continuously,
Very good.
although hindi sa print, but people read them online. Just lately, nowadays the big thing, she was named by the Forbes Asia magazine to its list of Asia's power businesswomen for 2020.
Wow.
I'm not sure. I think they're only 25, and they were chosen for having risen to the challenge of the global pandemic and are demonstrating their mettle in these difficult times. In short, magaling siyang mag-adapt. May I present to you Miss Olivia Limpe-Aw. Hi, Olive.
Hello.
Hi,
Welcome to
JJ.
Spotlight.
Hello.
Ang
Yes.
Jojo, ha?
Jojo, sorry. Jojo and
That's
Dinah,
good.
no?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Shortcut ko pa yung Jojo. But
Oo nga eh.
Yeah.
Sina nga eh.
No, some people call me Jojo, JJ talaga.
JJ, I see.
She's one of
okay.
them.
Okay.
But here, I'm Jojo.
Okay.
You know, we were in their museum, ha?
Yes, I
Sa
remember.
Intramuros.
I remember I saw the pictures. Ang ganda.
At saka, remember, yung iba-ibang klaseng liquor, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
Destileria Limtuaco is
Yeah.
a very familiar name among
Yeah.
Filipinos.
And to this day, I should have worn that t-shirt ng Shoktong.
Oo nga.
Oo, sayang. Anyway, Olive, how are you today? Kasi nga, pandemic, no? So, nagtatanim ka ba? Nagbe-bake ka ba? And selling? How have you been doing? Oo. Sa,
During the ECQ, of course, we were still working.
yeah.
Wala naman kaming stop eh. Talagang tuloy-tuloy.
Ah,
Oo. But in between, like during the weekends, I went into, I practiced my cooking and baking
oh, talaga,
skills.
ha?
Wow.
Yes. So one day I'll let you try my
Yeah, please.
beef stew. Super sarap.
Okay.
Okay.
Oy,
So-
may liquor? Wala.
Of course, it's
Oh.
made with Amadeo coffee liquor. It's sobrang sarap.
Wow.
Secret.
Yeah, so
In the
I
kitchen.
went back to cooking on the weekends because actually we can't go out we can't dine out. So it's important that we are able to create meals, no, so that we don't have to think of what we missed pre-pandemic, no. So
Yeah.
and then of course I tried also going back to baking. I tried my apple pie again and my
Wow.
cheesecake. Oo. Yun, so that's what kept me busy. And then of course, I also, because health is so important now, so I believe that your best immunity against COVID is your good health, right? So I went back to exercise. I tried my best to get enough sunlight and sleep. So yun, that's what kept me busy aside from work.
Masaya naman.
Okay, oh. Well, congratulations on your recognition from Forbes. Ang
Oh,
galing
thank you
eh.
very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
What can you say about like how can people really adapt well to this pandemic, diba? Because did you just sort of slide into it, or did you make plans when it was all happening so fast, diba, for everybody?
Well, actually, before the ECQ, we were already thinking of what would happen, if this COVID thing progresses. So we wanted to really come to create to produce sanitizer alcohol even before the ECQ was announced. So we were already working on the requirements for that product. So when the ECQ was announced, we immediately pushed for the execution of the product. Of course, with the help of DTI and the BOI, we were able to facilitate the shift, no, to sanitizer alcohol, and by the end of March, we already produced our product, Consumer Protect. No? So
What is
it
it
was
called?
very quick for us because we had planned it not even before the ECQs were announced by the government. So parang you just have to have a feeling na parang if you have a feeling that, you know, baka something might happen, there will be a shortage. So we were preparing for that.
Foresight.
So you have to have a little bit of foresight and preparation, because if the ECQ is there and that's when you will start doing it, then it's difficult to get into it because offices were closed, diba? You can't buy supplies, and then of course if you want to be able to adopt, you must work with what you have, no? So because the pandemic, wala na, everybody was closed. Saan ka bibili ng packaging mo? Saan ka bibili? So we adopted, the first thing we created was actually this one. We use our liquor bottles kasi we had to go back to what do we have. So this was the first. This was the first that we. So we use our whiskey bottle, we use our whiskey cap, and then we just designed our labels. We finished our labels in one day. And then we have a very good supplier of labels who delivered to us in like a week's time. So we were able to supply this to Mercury Drug. So it comes in 2 sizes. So yun nga, parang if you want to be able to adopt, dapat
ang galing.
Diba? Meron kang raw material, meron kang manpower, no? Meron kang people in compliance, because even if you want to do it, you have to be able to comply with government regulations, because these are regulated products. So we had to get permits from the BIR to shift to this. Then we had to get FDA approvals, diba? Registrations and all that, which naman the BOI was very helpful with, no? Because at that time they really needed somebody to be able to help boost the supplies in the market because there was a shortage. So we were very happy to be able to help our country by increasing the supply, no? Given the shortage of this type of product. Yun. So yun lang talaga, kasi if you're gonna think of something pa na is outside of your capacity, no, to produce, it will never happen. So even like some other people went into supplying of food, diba? Because they have a kitchen, they know how to cook, it's easy, they have raw materials, they can do it. Pero if you don't know how to cook, even if you want to be a supplier of food, mahirap, diba? So may knowledge, may skill, may raw materials, may manpower, may capability. Yun.
Tama.
Galing. So, madali yung shift for...
No wonder she's Forbes.
I know.
Yes. Well, yun. And then, of course, after that, after we did the alcohol, the sanitizer alcohol, we also applied for other things like for soap, for liquid soap. But that one took a little longer because we had to finish first the alcohol. By the time we did the soap, medyo... patapos na yung Bayanihan 1. No? So we had to wait until the Bayanihan 2 before we could pursue again to continue and finalize the soap product. No?
What is it called?
Sea soap. Sea soap. Parang SI, yes, diba? So, mamaya I'll show you the sample of the product. But in between, we thought, what could we do? What could we do to help? Diba? At the time, it was really, we were in a dire situation. People were dying, diba? Our hospitals were filled with COVID patients. So we heard of this Chinese medicine, yung Lian Hua Qing one. And I thought, no, this product, this product, yung Chinese medicine, the one that we heard about this from Ben-Hur Abalos, now our MMDA chairman, no? Sila Senator Bongbong Marcos took it.
Yes.
So when I heard about this, na at that
Oh.
time, this is in China, it's a COVID, it's an approved COVID
Treatment.
medicine. So we thought that maybe we could help by trying to bring it into the Philippines. Although I'm not in the drug distribution, I just said, anyway, there's really not much going on at that time. So I decided to try. So I applied for the registration of this drug in like sometime end of April or early May. And by August, we got the FDA registration. This is the first traditionally used Chinese medicine approved by the FDA in the Philippines. And it has really helped a lot of Filipinos and Filipino-Chinese in their recovery from the symptoms of COVID. It's in the Philippines, we can't say it's a COVID drug, but it is known to help alleviate the symptoms of COVID associated with the COVID-19. So that was the next project that we had, this one. No? So now I'm into the drug distribution.
Oo, galing.
Parang you never stop.
Never stop. And ngayon naman, my next project is I'm working on the Sputnik V, the Russian vaccine for COVID. Yes. Okay. So I'm working with the Russian Direct Investment Fund, and we are the ones who are helping them with the registration for the emergency use authorization with the FDA.
It hasn't come in yet. Wala pa.
Not yet. But we have already applied in January 7, and we're still going through the process of evaluation with the FDA. And hopefully we will have it soon because they are committed to help us by providing us the Sputnik V vaccines. No? And it's really one of the best in the world with a very high efficacy rate of 91.6%. Very good immunogenicity, safety. It's cost effective, and it's easy to transport logistically because of the higher temperature storage conditions, unlike the others in the line of the 90 above with a negative 70 centigrade na storage condition. So hopefully we will be able to help more our fellow Filipinos to get this vaccine in the soonest possible time so they can start their vaccine rollout. Especially the LGUs have been waiting for this.
Okay.
That's Olive for you. Very knowledgeable.
Tsaka, ang dami na niyang nagawa, and it's only February.
Yeah.
And tomorrow is Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kung hey Fat Choy. Are we pronouncing it right?
How are you celebrating the
Well,
Chinese New Year?
usually Chinese families will celebrate the same way we celebrate New Year. We'll have a family dinner, no? And for our family, my husband's side, we follow this ritual. It's called parang inviting the good spirits. So kasi my late mother and father-in-law were Buddhists, and they have this family tradition. Parang there's a specific place in the house where parang the doors are open, ganon. We do our incense there, diba? And then we have like a walk that we invite them. So from the garden, we bring them. We all of us in one line will walk through and then invite them to the front door and up to the altar. Ganon. Parang yun nga, they call it. Equivalent niya in English would be parang inviting the good spirits nga. Parang ganyan. But I don't know if other families practice that. But for the Ao family, that's how they celebrate the Chinese New Year's Eve. After dinner, we have that. We have to wait until 12 midnight. Then we do this ritual.
So first thing of the Chinese New Year, parang at the turn of the...
So that's going to be tonight?
Tonight. So tonight, mapupuyat kami.
Meron bang ritual for the boyfriend? How to make him more faithful, more exciting, more caring? Wala bang ganon?
Wala, I think ano yan, hard work yan. And
I like that answer. Thank you.
alaga yan, alaga kailangan dyan. TLC.
Oo.
Kita mo yan,
Walang
ha?
rituals dyan, Jojo.
Walang
Okay,
ritual
okay.
dyan.
And it's a
Hard work
woman
yan.
talking,
You know,
ha?
I like that.
You know, I've been wondering, ha?
Mm-mm.
She's a lady, no?
Mm.
And then the liquor world is supposed to be
A
a
man's
world
world.
of mga lalaki. Olive, how are you dealing with so many men sa inyong association? Kuan ba, hindi ka ba naiilang or intimidated or
Wala lang.
pantay?
Oo.
Ano ba?
Wala lang. Parang when we deal with them, we deal as an individual, di ba? Parang
Oo.
the gender is not an issue. Dapat ganon,
ganon.
di ba? Parang we talk about issues, we talk about problems in the industry, how we solve it. We don't consider gender.
Ay,
Kasi
pero,
once you consider that as an issue in the way you deal with people, then you will be treated differently. So I think when you're dealing with men, you should know how to deal with. Parang you should understand the person you're dealing with, di ba? And in a way, if you are dealing with all men, you have to also adapt to them. So kung saan madami, who is the majority? So if a man is dealing with a lot of women, the man also has to understand
oo nga naman.
the female psyche, our attitudes, our behaviors to be able to adapt to us. So if we are the ones going into their circle naman, we also have to be the one to adapt because we are the one that entering that circle. No? So I think that's human nature, diba? We have to really adapt. And actually, medyo majority rules, diba? So,
Olive,
medyo majority.
Olive, kasi nga 'di ba, meron tayong common, I don't know, belief, understanding na Chinese family 'yan. Ang mga babae less 'yan sa mga lalaki. Something like that. Pero apparently sa family nila it's not like that. The president of Destileria is Olive.
woman.
Pero ano nga ba? Meron bang parang a little bit of dapat ang boss lalaki? Ganun ba sa Chinese
Have you ever encountered
culture?
that in your
I think
professional life?
before, ganun talaga, yung there's preference for male offsprings, di ba?
Oo.
But today, especially in the Philippines, because we also adopted also to the Filipino culture, we're very lucky in the Philippines where women are also on equal footing as the men. In our family, we're just very lucky because we don't have brothers so my parents had no choice. Puro babae kami. But sometimes we joke in our family that if we had a brother, wala na rin ako siguro, di ba? I don't know. But then, because now we were all daughters, my parents brought us up to believe that men and women are equal, di ba? And what men can do, women can also do better, di ba? Women can also do, if not better pa nga sometimes, di ba? So it really depends on the person. It really depends on you.
You know, which brings us to her father, who was on top of it before, but then he passed it on to Olive, no? And he's also a painter.
I see.
And so we'd like to ask you about your father. But before you tell us about your father, let's
pause for a short break.
Araneta City, home to the country's first indoor shopping mall, the world's original Thrilla, and the first ever Bini Bini pageant. Now a place for your first win, your first catch, your first home, your first big break, your first date, and even your first love. Araneta City, the city of firsts.
And we are back
Yeah.
with Olivia Limpe-Aw.
Yes, and we were asking her about her father, the famous Julius Limpe, who's also a painter,
yes.
and who was at the top of the company before he passed it on to Olive. Yeah. So tell us about him.
Yes.
Well, my dad, Julius, really is a Renaissance man. No, he was he was a businessman, an artist, an inventor. scientific minded, lahat na, no? So I was lucky na to have a father like him. He was my mentor. He really taught me so much. And he taught me everything I knew about the distillery at the time. And he was very, very supportive. He never really doubted that his daughters can do what they put their mind to in accomplishing what they want in life. So he was very, very proactive, progressive, very supportive, no? And as a mentor, I would say that he didn't really baby me. Parang his style was always, you learn by observation. So I would tag along with him, even as a young child, up to up to my college years. Like summers, I would spend in the office. I was always with him when he had meetings. I was always there listening. Yeah, when he was doing work.
Are you all girls?
All girls. We're 7 girls.
You're the youngest?
No, I'm the fifth. The fifth in the family.
Okay. So, sa'yo napunta, ha?
So, kasi he really trained all of us naman. So, syempre, di ba, may hierarchy. Panganay muna, tapos pangalawa, pangatlo, ganon. And my sisters at some point really were also involved in the business. But most of them, when they had children, they started raising their families, they opted to be, to concentrate on raising the family. So sa akin na lang yung, and then my other sister, when she got married, she helped her husband. My other sister is an artist, the younger one, and the other one has a different field. So kanya-kanya talaga. But those there were like 4 of us who worked in the business, but the 3 decided to not continue. So I was the only one. Kasi pang-5 na ako eh. So sabi ko, naku, kung hindi pa ako tumuloy, kumawa naman yung father ko, di ba? Kasi my next sister is an artist. Hindi talaga siya sa business. So sabi ko, paano mangyayari sa negosyo, di ba? So dapat seryosohin ko talaga. Seryosohin ko kasi my mom, she passed away na in 2018, but she was a lawyer and she was a very good businesswoman also, and very she really supported my father, in the building of this business. She would always tell me that, your father put his life's work into this distillery to building it, and the other 3 generations ahead of my dad devoted their lives to this business. Parang, how can you not continue it just because your father had no sons, di ba? So parang ako naman, nakita ko rin naman na hindi na lang to para lang sa akin, para na rin siya sa future generations, di ba? Kasi kung ano man yung na-enjoy ko sa buhay ko or na-accomplish ng family namin, parang I should also try to do the same for the next generations. Kasi after all, we're just passing through in our lifetime, di ba? And if you're given that responsibility to run the business, grow it, and pass it on to the next, then maybe that is my purpose in life, di ba? And I must do my very best to make that happen.
I must say.
Kasi parang, di ba, parang sometimes you realize why, di ba? Actually, hindi naman ako, so parang, that really is your purpose. And that you must fulfill that purpose to the best of your ability, because after your time, it's time to pass it on to the next. So that's my role now. Because of what I went through, and I learned the business, and I am of the age that I should already prepare the next generation. So I'm training my sons, diba? Because it's not easy to run a business, and the distillery is a highly competitive and highly regulated industry. It's not an easy one, no? So sabi nga ni Jack Ma, di ba, up to a certain age dapat nagtuturo ka na nagme-mentor ka na. So I'm trying to be that also to my to the next generation.
Okay. So your children are now also involved in the business.
Yes, yes. All my 3 sons are involved in the business.
Oh, do you try to teach them? What do you mentor them
Yeah,
with?
yeah.
Well, actually, parang I'm also employing some of my father's methods, some of my mother's methods, diba? So, but I think the difference is because I'm a woman, I'm a mother. I think I'll be more parang if my dad was more like you watch, observe, and learn. Sa akin, I'm more like I will teach talaga. Kasi mother di ba? Mother talaga nagtuturo So, but of course I don't also spoon feed, I also let them learn, and sometimes I let them make mistakes because actually mistakes are your biggest teachers, di ba? In life, because masakit magkamali. Napakasakit, di ba?
Yes.
So alam mo na pag na-encounter mo yung pagkakamali, parang ayaw mo nang ulitin, di ba? Kasi masakit sa loob mo rin yun na, to admit that you made mistakes. But of course, we try to make sure that whatever mistakes they make are not major ones. Kasi hindi naman, if you know that it's going to be a major mistake, you have to stop it. But sometimes, you can let them make some mistakes, di ba? For them to learn. So, yun. Hindi pwede rin masyadong mahigpit, hindi naman pwede masyadong maluwag.
Olive,
Dapat balanse.
meron ka na bang napupusuan sa tatlo kung sino ang...
Next in line?
Oo. may isang...
Observe.
Ha?
Syempre, we're training them pa, di ba? And we're observing, di ba? Oo. So,
hard to tell yet.
Yeah. Merong artistahin wala bang balak mag-artista?
yung youngest son ko.
Oo.
Parang, wag na siya mag-artista. Mahirap ang buhay ng artista. Di ba?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tsaka hindi pang matagalan yung career, di ba?
Yeah. Samantalang ang shoktong, ha? Generations, ha?
Oo, mas long term naman ang negosyo.
Oo.
Yeah, ang galing. So,
Yeah.
I guess,
Ay, siguro, yan.
What would you like to say to your sons now as a message
Oo.
to them for this coming year, the Chinese year of the metal ox, di ba?
Yeah.
I don't know if you believe that.
Ang lagi kong sermon sa kanila, ang lagi kong paalala, dapat work hard, diba? Learn as much as you can. Always, like my parents said, always the best. Kasi ang teaching ng father ko, lagi niya sinasabi, the best thing that you can leave your children is a good name. Diba? Kasi pera pwedeng mawala, pero pangalan pag nasira, hindi nabibili ng pera, di ba?
Tama naman.
So, napaka-importante talaga. So, yun lagi ang tinuturo ko sa kanila na never do anything na ikasisira ng pangalan mo, di ba? Kasi kawawa yung mga anak mo. Tapos laging work hard. Diba? Okay. Dapat masipag at saka dapat may passion sa ginagawa, di ba? Kasi nasa sa atin naman yun kung gaano natin gusto maging passionate, di ba? Yeah. Don't consider it like a job, but consider it as your life's mission, di ba? Na you must do something. You're the one to motivate yourself. Don't expect others to motivate you. Kasi hindi ka naman talaga mapipilit ng tao Kung gusto mo talaga, ikaw mag-prop sa sarili mo, ikaw mag-convince sa sarili mo na dapat mong gawin at gusto mong gawin. So, pag may passion ka sa ginagawa mo, kahit nakakapagod, di ba? Pag nagawa mo, masarap yung feeling So, dapat hindi tayo matakot sa hirap. Di ba? Okay. Kasi pag may hirap, may ginhawa. O, di ba?
Yeah. On that note, okay.
I wish I could,
masarap kausap
masarap kausap
Lalo na pag may iniinom.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts and your advice.
Yeah.
So, we'll be seeing you soon, I hope.
Yeah.
So
and
we can
Happy
talk
New
some
Year.
more about the direction of your business. Siguro, ibang story naman yun, di ba, Jo?
Ano-anong produkto yon before we wind up?
Well, we have, of course, our liquors.
Okay.
Behind me, we have our liquors, our craft spirits. Then we also have our alcohol, Consumer Protect. And then if you get COVID, don't wait until you are it becomes serious or severe at the onset, take your Lian Hua Ching Wen, diba? And be relieved of the symptoms fast, no? So if you take it during the mild moderate stage, it will save you from a lot of hardship. And of course, when the vaccines are here, then do not forget Sputnik V. It's the best vaccine in the world.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks so much.
Thank
Kung
you
hei
very
fa
much.
choy.
Kung hei fa.
Kyung Hee Hua Chai.
Yung pala. That's what I'm saying.
Jojo. No, actually, Kung Hee Hua Choi is Cantonese. Kyung Hee Hua Chai is Fukien.
Okay.
And then Kung Si Fa Chai is Mandarin. So pare-parehas lang sila.
Okay.
So thank you, Dinah and
Thank
Jojo.
you. Yeah, and Dina.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Dina, sorry, Dina and Jojo.
Okay.
Happy New Year.
Happy
Wish
New
you
Year.
more blessings and success in the year of the ox.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, SM, for my outfit.
Well, we pause for another break before we say goodbye.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was Olivia Limpe-Aw.
Oh, yeah.
I felt so honored, parang
Yeah.
talking
Woman,
to her,
huh?
and a woman, an
Oo.
accomplished woman.
Oo.
What an inspiration, ano, Jo?
Oh, and she's so relaxed, ha? Parang,
know.
I can imagine, ang pati sa trabaho, hindi siya, di ba? Cool lang siya, no?
Cool lang siya. Walang mga, dramas la.
Oo.
So, maganda. I learned a lot from her today, and I'll take that through this whole year, year of the metal ox.
Yeah.
So later tonight, we'll be celebrating the Chinese New Year.
Yes. We'll do our rituals.
Yes, and we'll hope for a better year than 2020.
Yes.
And we hope the same for everyone as well.
Yes. We hope the best for all of you.
Yes. This is Dina Ventura.
This is Jojo Silvestre.
And this has been Tribune
Now, Spotlight.